What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average competition shooting enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home. Thanks for watching.
Stand by.
Guys, the purpose of today's video is this will be hopefully a one-stop shop for all the guys that are getting into competition shooting because some bully on the internet, that's me, told you should shoot one competition a month to get better and practice your stress inoculation. So this video will hopefully help the guy that's new to competition shooting, and if it's not you, it will help the guy that is your buddy that is going to go to a competition and they need to watch this video because it will help them calm down. Okay? Yes, a lot of guys get a lot of anxiety going to their first match, their first competition shooting, whether it be a steel challenge, USPSA, IDPA, they're shooting a match in the Army, a stress shoot in the Army, or whatever branch of service they're in, and they're nervous to shoot in front of people. They've been being safe their entire life, but now, all of a sudden, they're worried about flagging somebody, even though it's never happened before. So today will serve as a one-stop shop for the Trench Grenade community and anybody that stops in along the way. It's their first time shooting competition or it's their 15th time shooting a competition, but they needed a refresher and they're a little bit anxious and a little bit nervous to shoot bullets in front of people at targets and perform well. Okay, so ground rules, 4 rules of weapon safety. Before I get into the 4 rules of weapon safety, if you're a wee little fellow traveler that has discovered my channel because you're getting into competition shooting and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and comment down below how nervous you were or how nervous you are to attend your first match. Be honest. Guys like to be super macho and they like to be like, hey man, my testosterone levels are so high and I can do all this stuff, but I'm not nervous. You are. Okay, I've shot a lot. I'm going to give you my pedigree of competition shooting very briefly. I shot a ton of USPSA. I've shot a ton of steel challenges. I've won the I-Corps competition with my team 2 years in a row for active duty. I shot either 17th or 22nd, somewhere in there, it doesn't matter. Active duty, I can't dox myself, so I'm not going to say when or where. I've shot a lot of competitions, okay, in my life, and I am an okay shooter, but more importantly, I shoot competitions because it helps me get better with my handgun because I conceal carry every day, so I think it is important to have stress inoculation on a flat range. When you get in a gunfight, you're not going to have a lot of time to figure out if you are inoculated properly for stress. Okay, so like the video, comment down below if you've ever been stressed for a match, and here we go. Okay, first and foremost, 4 rules of weapon safety. If you're new to competition, you probably already know the 4 rules of weapon safety, but you need to remember them throughout the competition. Treat all weapons as if they're loaded. Keep your finger straight off the trigger until you're ready to engage. Never point the weapon at anything you do not intend to destroy, and always be aware of your target and its surroundings. Now, first and foremost, there will be a safety brief at every competition that you go to. There will be an RSO brief. A range safety officer will brief you, okay, the 180 rule. That means from the 180, at no point can you turn your weapon and face the other direction. That means if I were to, and we're going to get into the range procedures and everything later on, the actual commands on the flat range, but they're going to brief you the 180. The 180 rule, and I'll clip up my strap here, and I will show you the gear that I'm rocking to give you a little bit of an idea of what you should bring to a match. So they're going to brief you the 180 rule. The 180 rule simply means, is this gun unloaded?
No. Clear.
Okay, 3-point safety check and holster. They're going to brief the 180 rule. The 180 rule simply means that later on when they say shooter ready, stand by, beep, I draw my gun, I begin engaging. I cannot reholster at any point, nor can I turn with the gun and break the 180. Super simple, right? Imaginary line in the ground. So if I'm engaging, boom, 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 or shoot ready, stand by, I draw the gun, I begin engaging. If I want to turn and run, because the course of fire is set up, and there will be a lot of courses of fire that are set up where you have to move laterally or in depth. If I need to move, I will simply drag the gun, and as long as it doesn't break the 180 and I keep it pointed down range, I am good to go. Dragging the gun can look like this. I'll just go through again. Shooter, do you understand the course of fire? Shooter ready, stand by. Beep. Draw your gun, begin engaging. It can look like this. As long as you don't flag anything, it can look like this. Bang, bang, bang. Turn, run to your spot, turn, and begin engaging again. It can look like this. Shooter ready. Okay, if I start here, shooter ready, stand by. Bang, 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 and I begin moving forward. Pretty self-explanatory, but that needs to be discussed. The 180 rule. Okay, they're going to brief you the 4 rules of weapon safety. They're going to talk to you about the safety table. The safety table is a place where you can conduct battery inspections, conduct preventative maintenance and checks and services on your handgun, i.e., you can look at your gun in an area that is allowed. The safety table, key thing about the safety table, it will be, pretend like this is the range. The safety table will be facing sideways into a berm. You cannot bring any ammunition to the safety table. I'm going to say that part again. You cannot bring any ammunition to the safety table. That means you cannot bring magazines that have ammunition in them to the safety table. You cannot have spare bullets in your dump pouch to the safety table. That is a disqualification. So when you're going to the safety table, because you probably should, to dry fire, to conduct a last inspection of your dot brightness, okay? So I'm gonna flag you to conduct a last inspection of my dot brightness. And guess what, guys? Talking a lot about safety, you're not actually here. So I can flag you because you're not actually here. It's a crazy concept. But when you go to the safety table, you can't have any ammunition and you cannot mess with your gun anywhere on the range unless told to do so by the range safety officer to load and make ready. At no point, let's say Nighthawk was on the range and she was about to run her course of fire, right? I can't be back here, and I've seen this at courses and at ranges, I can't be back here doing this. No, if you're not the one that's being directly told to load and make ready, shooter ready, or do you understand the course of fire, shooter ready, stand by, beep. Unless you're the person that is being told to load, or I'm over here at the safety table facing into the berm with no ammunition on me at all. I can have empty magazines, but no ammunition, and obviously my unloaded weapon. Treat all weapons if they're loaded. I can mess with my gun over here, but I cannot have a shot timer because a shot timer would interfere with the actual competition, obviously, okay? But I have seen it. I've seen guys doing this. They're fiddling. Don't touch your gun. Don't touch your gun, okay? It's what we call it in the Army is make them safe, let them hang. I wish I had a carbine here. But make them safe, let them hang. That means the guns could be loaded, doesn't matter. You're not going to touch it. Okay. Same thing on if you're shooting a pistol competition, the gun is unloaded in the holster. Okay, at all times. So we talked about the safety table. No ammunition safety table. Beat that dead horse. You will have to go to the safety table at some point to make sure your battery is good, brightness. Make sure you're dry firing. You're understanding your holster retention is good. Make sure your magazine place, everything is good, right? The day up to get the jitters out. That's what I like to do. Get the jitters out, get the jitters out and relax at the safety table. So that is important. So don't be messing with your gun at all. One thing that I've made the mistake of doing, and if you got this far, guys, please give a like, comment down below your experiences you've had at your first match and some unsafe things you've seen at matches where guys have been disqualified that have made you nervous. When you get to the match, so I used to make this mistake because on the trench grenade channel, I used to, and I still do sometimes, I'll roll into the range that I shoot. I already have my gun loaded, I already have magazines loaded. I get out of the car, I put up the steel target, left, right, ears on, eyes on, beep, and go. You do not want to do that. So conceal carry for the day of the match or whatever, a gun that is separate from your comp gun, and or make sure your weapon arrives to the range. I'll just say that. Make sure the weapon that you're going to compete with arrives to the range clear and safe and holstered. Okay? Clear, safe, holstered. And don't get all worked up about it. If you're at your car, if you're at the Mustang and you're in the trunk and you're pulling your gun out of the case and it's clearly unloaded or whatever, just keep it pointed in the safe direction, unload it if you forget. It's not a big deal, right? Keep in mind, everyone except for the FUD RSO, there are like 1 in every 100 RSOs will be a FUD, and they will be looking for a reason to disqualify you. But the vast majority of RSOs, fingers crossed, are normal gun enthusiasts. trainers and advocates. So they will, as long as you're being safe, 4 rules of weapon safety are always in effect. Hey, I accidentally showed up to the range with my weapon clear. Just clear the weapon, point in a safe direction, keep it, unload it and holster up. You're good to go, okay? Okay, so we talked about the safety table. I want to talk about equipment because I know guys are going to ask. So I'm going to show you what I rock. Now, I rock my work belt, my battle belt. This is a Ronin belt, okay? I'll buckle it to make it make sense for you. Some things you need to do the night before a competition or the day before a competition. Like we're doing right now, and we're filming it for you because I'm a weirdo and I want guys to actually be comfortable when they show up to the range. This is the belt that I'm going to be rocking. Okay, it is a Ronin belt. Okay, it doesn't matter the belt. It doesn't matter, but guys are going to ask. It's a Ronin belt. I'm shooting carry optics class. Okay, I'm shooting carry optics. The gun I'm going to be shooting is a Staccato C2 with a Holosun 507 comp and a T-Rex arms. Credit given where credit is due. A T-Rex arms holster, okay, just a retention, no actual active retention style device with a leg strap from T-Rex arms again, okay, crazy concept. That is the gun system, or the gun setup I'll be rocking. An IFAK, I always have an IFAK on my belt kit because I use it for work. So an external tourniquet and a blowout kit. There should be a CLS bag at the range. I'm not saying you have to bring an IFAK. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I use this belt because I always like to have my IFAK on me, and it's the same one I use for work. Flat back, that way, because some competitions, you will have to sit in a chair or in a vehicle. So if you have to sit in a vehicle or in a chair, I want a flat back, even though I'm not going to be sitting back, but in case I need to move around. So I have a flat back for most comps. A dump pouch. A dump pouch is good because on a steel challenge, for example, a steel challenge, you will shoot it'll be, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. You'll go up to the line. The RSO will tell you they'll tell you load and make ready. Weapon out, mag in. I'm going to go through this in a minute. Load and make ready, and then weapon on safe, holster. After you shoot the course of fire, after you say shooter ready, stand by, beep, and you shoot the course of fire, if you're done, if it's a steel challenge, you'll just simply reholster. But before you reholster, old mag out, new mag in. Makes sense? So that's when a dump pouch will be helpful. Moving on, I use STAC, ESSTAC, okay? Because I have a lisp. So I use STAC magazine pouches. Why? I like the retention. I can run around. Oh, I should show that too. So just because I don't have a retention device, hashtag T-Rex arms, you see the gun is floating in space right now, right? Just because there is no active retention, there is passive retention with the Kydex, right? The Kydex is tightened to such an extent that I cannot draw this gun unless the leg strap is on, because the leg strap will act as a hinging point. Hope that makes sense. I'm getting a little bit off on a tangent, just explaining my equipment, but that is how this system works, okay? So the leg strap will act as a hinging point. That's why you want to inspect your gear the day before to make sure everything is tightened down the way you want it. Anyway, magazines. I use stock Glock. I use stock Staccato magazines. When I'm competing, I don't want to use anything weird, just magazines straight from Staccato, and that is it, okay? That is the gear that I run with sword-ins. I used to wear my work helmet. I'll go grab my sword-ins, but I use sword-in headphones because they are higher quality than some of the Howard Lights or trashier ones. So the day before competition, I'll just switch out the batteries on my headset. I'll switch out the batteries on my dot, and I'll tighten all points of attachment on my belt. Now, Nighthawk is rocking this is her first comp. I'm going to touch you. Turn this way. She is rocking a standard paddle style Kydex holster. So what we did prior to this, and what we're going to test today, is that the retention for her is good. Okay, you don't want to have a situation where you're uncomfortable with your equipment. Again, what is the number one rule? Safety. The 4 rules of weapon safety. So as long as she is comfortable with her Glock 19 Gen 3 being securely affixed to her holster when she wants it to be, then she's good to go. Additionally, she is also rocking a paddle holster. Okay. That will serve as her 2 additional magazines. If she needs more for the course of fire, she'll simply put it in a pocket, right? Because again, it's her first match and she's going to build up. Eventually, she might get a battle belt or whatever she wants to do. A speed belt, some guys call it. Yeah, cringe. Anyway, so we've talked a lot about equipment. A couple other things on equipment I'll say. Bring to the range cold weather gear that you're going to need. So in Alaska, I've shot a ton of competitions in Alaska. In Alaska, I would bring a hat, a balaclava, a massive coat, okay? And I would wear wool socks and I would bring mittens because between it being my time to shoot, there is going to be a lot of downtime between your time to shoot. So you'll go up and shoot your course of fire. Now 20 or 15 other people have to run the same course of fire. So you go sit in your vehicle. I wouldn't recommend that because it kind of takes away from the experience because you want to make friends. Crazy concept. You want to talk to the other shooters. You want to have fun. Joke around, learn other things from other competition shooters. So I bring extra cold weather equipment for myself. That way I can stay warm. I bring coffee to the range. I know it is a direct detriment because it could induce some shakes. Oh my God, he's flagging us again. It can induce some shakiness, right, because of the caffeine, and it can also affect your eyesight. If you didn't know that, caffeine does affect your eyesight, and it affects a little bit of induced shakes, right? But I bring some caffeine because I'm just there to have fun and learn my gun. But if you're trying to win masterclass rating or something, maybe don't take that advice. Okay, let's get into ammunition, magazines, weapons maintenance, and the actual drills. Okay, ammunition. Not sponsored. I'm going to preface that. Not sponsored. I have no sponsors on the channel. The only sponsor is a Patreon. Gets you access to the Discord server. We can find buddies to train with in a game with. Join the Patreon. Okay, we are going to be shooting, because I'm testing it for the channel as well, but we're going to be shooting straight out of the box, AAC ammunition 124 grain standard pressure ammo. I say again, we're going to be shooting 9mm AAC 124 grain standard pressure ball ammo. Why? Consistency. That's what I zeroed this dot with. Okay, this Holosun 507 comp, it's what I zeroed it with. That's what she is trained with the most, so consistency across the board. If we have a light primer strike or something like that, I will write it down, I will make a video, I will talk trash to PSA, and then I will continue on with light. But as of right now, the ammunition that we are shooting is 124 grain 9mm standard pressure ball ammo, okay? Why do I make such an emphasis on that? I'll just tell you based on what we got going on here. In our range box, this is 380, so you have to ignore that it's 380. But in our range bag, we have a ton of different types of ammunition. Remington, Blazer, any other types? No. More Blazer. Okay, so a bunch of different types. That can add variable to your competition shooting. You want to take out as many variables as possible, so I recommend just picking one manufacturer, whoever. Can be whatever brand you want, but train with that one thing. For the longest time, I think I shot Cellular and below, SMB. So SMB or Cellular and Bellet, Cellular and below, 124 grain, full metal jacket, brass ammo, right? I shot that stuff for years. Actually, that's what I shot for the majority of the rounds fired on this channel was SMB 9mm. So take out all the extra factors of ammunition, the thing that you're going to feed the gun, kind of a big deal, right? It's the thing that you're actually going to be igniting every time you pull the trigger. So take that factor out and just use one type of ammo. Pick one. I don't care what type. Just make sure you train with that ammo and you know what it's going to do and that it's reliable enough that the primer will pop every time you pull the trigger. That makes sense? So every time you pull the trigger, make sure that it's not a hard primer, right? Okay, magazines. I'll talk about magazines real quick. If you're running a Glock, guess what should be stamped on the magazine? It should probably have a G for Glock, right? It should probably say Glock on the magazine. You probably should not go to a range or go to a match with aftermarket magazines. Do not do that. That will result in you having one of these. This gun is clear. You already cleared me. Okay. Shooter ready, stand by. Beep. Click. Or, more importantly, it'll be bang, 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 click. You want to know why? Or a tap, rack malfunction. Do you know why you're going to get that malfunction? Because the magazines weren't made for the gun. So use the stock OEM magazines for whatever gun you're competing with. The thing that will make you the most upset on your 18th competition when you're shooting, you'll watch them. You'll watch the FUDs with the Canics and whatever gun, doesn't matter. You'll watch these guys roll up to the range with aftermarket magazines, and they're going to malfunction. That's another tangent, but they're going to malfunction. Another thing, you're going to see guys that are of the uninformed. Of the uninformed. They'll show up with their, what at one point, this is a good example. Two good examples that I've seen. At one point, this is a staccato, obviously, but at one point it was a Springfield Prodigy. Bad gun to start off with. That's a whole nother video. But they show up with their Springfield Prodigy they've changed every single thing about their Springfield Prodigy. Everything. They've changed everything. They've made it run for them, but it's not going to run that day. And it's going to be awkward, and they're going to have a bad run. They're going to have a million malfunctions on their run. They're going to come back, and they're like, don't know what's going on today. And you're going to think to yourself, it's your fucking gun. Your gun is trash. Or they're going to show up with a Glock 19 Gen 3 that at one point was a good gun, and that they're going to have changed out the trigger, the barrel. They're going to have stippled it to death. They're going to change out the recoil spring. They're going to change out so much stuff, and this is exactly what's going to happen. Shooter race, stand by, beep. Bang, click, tap, rack. Bang, click, tap, rack. And they're going to have a million malfunctions. And you and all your buddies are going to be watching like, I bet that's not a stock Glock or whatever gun, right? So you're going to see a lot of malfunctions because guys like to fiddle with their shit. Don't be that guy. Run a stock gun. You'll thank me later. Trust me. They'll thank me. Okay. We've talked a lot about equipment. Make sure you tighten all screws. I already told them that. Tighten all screws the day before. Change batteries. Make sure your gun is lubricated to whatever you know you need. So for me, I will be adding a tiny, tiny bit more lubrication to my staccato. Why? Because staccatos like to run wet.
That's what she said.
Correct. So I will be adding a little bit more, there you go, obligatory flagging. I will be adding a little bit more lubrication, CLP, to my gun tonight.
Probably not.
She will not. She's running a stock Glock Gen 3. I could drag that thing through the sand and it'll probably still go bang after she loads it properly.
It runs pretty good dry.
Yeah.
So, and as it is from the last time we cleaned it and lubricated it, I'm still having some leaking out.
Yeah. So
like I'm not
I'm
doing any more to it.
Yeah, I'm a psychopath and I clean her gun every month or two, even though it's a Glock 19 Gen 3 and it doesn't require it. I do it anyway. I just want to make sure that if she gets killed in the streets, as the kids say, show them. If she gets killed in the streets, that she doesn't blame me for getting killed in the streets. Yeah. So, I mean,
she little coming out there.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna add anything more to it.
Okay.
She don't need it.
Correct. Okay. So we talked about snivel gear. We talked about bring a range bag. Record. Okay. Bring a tripod. Record every. I highly recommend you record every run you do. That will be able that will give you the ability to be able to conduct an after-action review and review your run. So we just have our standard range bag. Obviously, it's a Glock bag because we're shills, I guess, for our what we like. Anyway, moving on. We talked about equipment a lot. Wear foot gear that is going to enable you to move. Okay, let's talk about range. What's up? Yeah, so let's talk about range procedures. And this will be the last thing we talk about. Make sure you don't drink the night before a comp. Hydrate, get enough sleep. If you're nervous, get some dry fire in the day before. Not too much dry fire because you don't want to tear up your hands for the actual comp. If you're running a long gun, like a PCC or a rifle for a competition, you need to have a chamber flag and you carry your gun pointed up, straight up in the air, with the empty chamber indicator in the chamber to indicate that the gun is empty. Okay, I am going to talk myself through the range commands, and then if you guys want a part 2 of help for competition shooting, you can always comment down below and join the Patreon and text me on Patreon or Discord, hey Trench, I need help, it's my first comp, and I'll be like, hey dude, I appreciate you. You supported the content creator that you enjoy so much by giving me $5 a month, and you got you access to this private Discord server where you can stay up late and talk to Trench, that's me, and talk to me about all the questions you have. So yeah, If you have questions, hit me up in the comments down below or join the Patreon. Okay, so I'm going to talk myself through so I'm the shooter, okay? So it's going to be a little weird. I'll do the things and I'll talk myself through the commands. So you're going to go up to the box or the starting line. When it's your turn, they'll call your name. Go up. Obviously, my gun's unloaded, okay? They're going to say, typically what will happen a lot is I'll ask, can I just do I'll say RSO, can I just do a dry run, with my gun? They'll say yes or no. Cool. Okay. So I'll do my dry run. I'll walk the stage. There will be a stage planning portion. So like a 20-minute period where all the competitors can run, your team can run through. There'll be like 3 or 4 different teams that will rotate together. So you will only shoot with like 15 guys. There may be 50 to 60 guys of the entire match, but your squad or team, your squad of people will have a time to walk through. But typically I'll ask, hey, can I just get one, dry run real quick? Okay, cool. Practice my draw. On the first target, I'm going to engage. Okay, and I'll practice that a couple times. On the first target, cool, I feel good. Okay, then he'll say, shooter, load and make ready. Okay, so I'll always do the same thing. I always unholster for my staccato, safety off. I always lock the slide of the rear, make sure 3-point safety check to make sure there's no Skittles in there. I secure my magazine. Typically, I'll have it in my dump pouch. That way I'm not pulling from my magazine pouches. I will place the magazine in, pull down because I can. Obviously, it's not going to go forward. I will allow it to go forward, the slide to go forward. I will then conduct a chamber check. So I'll visually inspect the chamber to make sure that it is actually loaded, allow it to go forward, and safe. After the weapon is on safe, obviously, I will just slow holster. I'll take a deep breath. He'll say, shooter, do you understand the course of fire? You don't have to say anything. You can nod your head yes. You can say whatever, as long as it's an affirmative or yes, right? They'll say, shooter, do you understand the course of fire? I do. Shooter ready. Stand by. And then he'll press the button. And then at a random interval, it can be any interval, right? He'll say, shooter ready, stand by. You won't know. He'll press the button. And at a random point, it'll go beep. You'll then, at that point, draw the gun, weapon off safe, begin engaging whatever target arrangement they have designed. And if I need to move, I'm just going to move with the gun pointed at the 180. Once I'm done with the course of fire, this is where a lot of guys get wrong. This is where a lot of guys DQ. Once I'm done, bang, 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 bang. Okay, I think I'm done. What I'm not going to do is just simply reholster. They're going to say, shooter, if you are finished, unload and show clear. Okay? They're going to say, shooter, if you are finished, unload and show clear. Easy way to do that, mag out, dump pouch, don't be that guy trying to catch that round. Let it go, you can pick it up in a second. Old round comes out, lock the slide to the rear, and just hold it like this. Show the RSO. Then they're going to say, if clear, hammer down and holster. Okay? So I will simply place the weapon back in the battery. I will fire at a target, and then I will holster. And then they'll say, time, 14.38, and then they'll start walking. 2 Alpha, 1 Charlie. 2 Alpha, 1 Charlie. 1 Alpha, 2 Alpha, 1 miss. They'll start going down and grading and putting it into the iPad. After they're done, they'll say, okay, your initials, or they'll ask you to hit confirm. At that point, if you have a rebuttal, you need to bring it up to the RSO. If you are out there doing the little pastying, don't pasty it until the RSO inspects it, or whoever is grading inspects it. Don't just go down range and start pastying up until they say, paste them. When they tell the people that are pasting or painting to paint them or paste them, then and only then do you paint them. Because what will happen, and you will be that guy, I'm trying to help you, you'll pasty it up or you'll paint it, and then the shooter will say, I disagree, I want to challenge that. Guess what they have to go look at? The fucking target. Guess what happens if you painted it up or pasted it up? They can't take the word. They cannot take the word of someone that pasted it, regardless if they have it on video. They will have to go with what they saw last. So you could have just cost somebody their match, what they've trained so hard for. So do not pasty up until they say paint them or paste them. That's huge, okay? You don't want to be that guy. I'm telling you, because that shooter is going to be super upset. They're going to try to hopefully be professional, but I have seen guys lose their cool, and I've seen heated exchanges on the range. Avoid all that. Just take commands from the RSO. If the RSO says stand by and they're going down, you hear them saying 1 Alpha, 1 Charlie, 1 Miss, whatever they're saying. Wait for them to say paint them or paste them. I beat that dead horse. Okay, so one more time, I'll go through the commands and then we'll get you guys out of here. You go up. It's my time. They called trench. Okay, I'm up. Hey, do you mind if I just run through real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Shooter, make ready.
The RSO will then say shooter, load, and make ready. Okay? Super simple. Keep it pointed 180. Secure your source of feed. Mag in, pull down. Whatever loading procedure you're going to do. I always do a chamber check, visually inspect, make sure it's in battery, safe, and slow to holster. They're going to say, shooter, do you understand the course of fire? Shooter ready. Stand by. Beep. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. If you are finished, unload and show clear. Old mag out, dump pouch. Let that bullet hit the ground. Visually inspect, lock it. If you are clear, hammer down and holster. Slide forward, pick a target that's downrange, fire. Gun should not go off. Slow reholster. He'll say time 13:89, 1 Alpha, 2 Charlie. Go through the whole deal. All right, sign. All right, paste them up, paint them up, paint them up. Next. Okay, that's it. Welcome to the world of USPSA, IDPA, Steel Challenge, Army comps, whatever. Okay, so if this video was beneficial, give me a like. If it was beneficial, share it with a buddy that could learn from it. Give some words of encouragement to Nighthawk. Her first competition is tomorrow. And yeah, that is it. That is all the words of encouragement. Don't be nervous. Be safe.
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. Everyone out there.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I'm a little nervous.
Everyone out there is there to help you. So be safe. Go slow. Don't go slow. Be safe. Be safe. That's rule number 1. As long as you're being safe, you don't break the 180. 4 rules of weapon safety. Don't holster up unless you're told to do so. Don't load unless you're told to do so. Don't bring ammo to the safety table. Don't show up with a loaded gun, etc.
Don't be dumb.
Just take your time. Your first comp, take your time. Okay? Build on it, and you could be a masterclass shooter tomorrow. But until you get to that point, be a cool dude. As long as you leave the range with a good experience, you were safe, and you had fun, and you got better, you made progress, you win. If you leave the range because you got disqualified because you were stupid, well, you didn't learn it from me. Any words of encouragement? All right.
Try something new. Challenge yourself.
And until next time, this is going to be Trench Grenade and Nighthawk, your average competition shooters that your mom said that we have at home, signing out. Cheers.
Wolverines!